Get ready for unique, rare, and little-known treasures from the golden age of radio. You're listening to The Amazing World of Radio with Adam Graham.
Hello, and Merry Christmas Eve. I'm ready to bring you our last Amazing World of Radio Christmas special. After two very different Christmas programs, I wanted to wrap things up with something that's truly classic and traditional, and this fits the bill. I'd actually forgotten I had this show, but just found it when I was rummaging through some various programs I acquired back in 2015. It's Christmas carols for Christmas seals. While Christmas seals still exist today, they were a much bigger deal during the golden age of radio because of the prevalence of tuberculosis at that time in the United States. We talked about their origin in a Christmas special a couple years ago with John Nesbitt. This program features John Charles Thomas, who is one of those great forgotten singing stars of the golden age of radio. He was a tremendous baritone, star of the Metropolitan Opera for nearly a decade, and he also starred in his own radio program sponsored by Westinghouse from 1943 to 1946. Today's program originally aired on December 5th, 1949, so here now is Christmas Carols for Christmas Seals.
Christmas Carols for Christmas Seals, starring John Charles Thomas and the Chaffey College Symphonic Choir, directed by S. Earl Blakesley, and brought to you by your Tuberculosis Association. And to start our show for Christmas Seals, here is John Charles Thomas with the choir in one of the old favorites of the Yuletide season, Hark, the Herald Angels Sing.
Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies, with the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Mild he lays his glory by, on the throne the Lord may die, born to raise the sons of earth, born to give them second birth. Christmas healing in his wing, light and life to all he brings. Hail the Son of righteousness, hail the heavenly Prince of Peace. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
There you have Hark, the Herald Angels Sing. And close to our hearts, it seems, at this time of the year, when holly, mistletoe, pine boughs, and punch bowls are the outward signs of our spirit of hospitality and goodwill. Now, to speak of the inner spirit which these exemplify, here is John Charles Thomas.
Yes, it is true that parties and gifts and Christmas trees are only outward signs. But they do mean that we want everyone to know we believe in a daily life of generosity and kindness, that we acknowledge our responsibilities to our fellow men. I think that's why buying and using Christmas seals gives us so much pleasure. They, too, are an outward sign, bright stamps that decorate our holiday mail. But the inner story and the inner spirit of Christmas seals is our belief that no one should ever suffer the illness of tuberculosis if it can be prevented. We believe that the fight against tuberculosis will be won. We know already that its ravages have been lessened through modern techniques of case finding and X-ray surveys, improved medical treatment, the health education to prevent its spread. We can see clearly in the future the death of our enemy, tuberculosis. I'm certain that all of you join me in the wish that this year more Christmas seals will be sold than ever before, so that this future will more quickly come to pass.
Seldom do we think of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, the American poet, as a writer of carols. And yet the carillon is one of the most effective, even though not frequently performed. More, its plaintive appeal for faith in a troubled world is strangely, almost prophetically appropriate to the need for spiritual support amidst the adversities of this 20th century. Now the choir in The Carillon. The Chaffey College Choir follows with an old Christmas hymn which during many centuries has roamed all over the world with emigrants from the Ural Mountains. It is called The Angel Song.
Sing and rejoice.
Now, to introduce his next number, John Charles Thomas.
You know, one of my favorite Christmas carols is O Little Town of Bethlehem, because to me, it symbolizes man's hope and faith in a brighter, better world to come. It's something like the Christmas seal, the symbol of a time in the future when we need no longer fear that tuberculosis may strike at someone close to us. And that's the odd thing about tuberculosis. It doesn't particularly favor the rich or the poor, the good or the bad. It's a threat to everyone until all cases are found, put under healing treatment, and protected from spreading their disease to others. Well, that may seem too big a job for a little stamp to be of much help in the doing, and yet Christmas seals have been working on that job and stimulating others to work on it for a long, long time. So the bright day when tuberculosis will be vanquished isn't too far off. As long as you and all your friends buy and use Christmas seals on your holiday mail. But speaking of holiday mail, here is O Little Town of Bethlehem, my Christmas greeting to you.
Christmas Carols for Christmas Seals was made possible through the courtesy of John Charles Thomas, the Chaffey College Symphonic Choir, its director, S. Earl Blakesley, the American Federation of Radio Artists, and the American Federation of Musicians. This program was written and produced by Carl Schlichter. This is Bob Purcell, wishing you, in behalf of all of us in the studio and your Tuberculosis Association, a very Merry Christmas and many, many Yuletide gifts, all decorated with Christmas seals.
Welcome back. A really strong selection in 15 minutes. He covered a lot of old favorites as well as some songs that are more obscure over the years. I think the first Noel is a great closer for any Christmas concert. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about Chaffey College. Now, it is a community college, or also known as a junior college. It had been founded as a junior college of agriculture and a postgraduate program of the Ontario, California High School, which now is known as Chaffey High School. It continued to operate on the same campus as the high school until a bond was approved in 1957 that allowed it to move to its own location. Now, if you're wondering why this particular college was chosen by John Nesbitt, given his star status, it's because he lived near there. His home was in the Apple Valley in California, and he had actually begun the process of retiring from public concerts and would spend the rest of his life in the Apple Valley. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this great selection of Christmas carols. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas season. And for 2023, we will have one more episode of The Amazing World of Radio on New Year's Eve, and be sure to listen to that from. Now it's time to thank our Patreon supporter of the day. Thank you to Corey. Corey has been one of our Patreon supporters since March of 2018, currently supporting the podcast at the Seamus level of $4 or more per month. Thank you so much for your support, Corey. And that will do it for today. We will be back with you next week from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.